When it comes down to protecting our smartphones, there's a lot of things we can do, but one of the main important things is to put a case. In today's video, we're going to check out some really nice premium and ruggedized cases made specifically for the Galaxy S21 Ultra. Sabah everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're going to check out cases from OtterBox, UAG, and as well as original cases from Samsung, and of course, leather cases for S21 Ultra. This is TK, let's check them out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so they are always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. And of course, thank you very much to Mobile Fun for allowing me to have some of these cases and share with you guys my review of them. So as we see here, we have a lot of cases to be able to go through. I have a case from UAG. We have the OtterBox, of course, the Drop Plus here. We have the S-View flip cover that has the S Pen support. The pen is inside of the case itself. We have the other option here, which is the silicone case. And what the case here essentially is the smart LED cover. That's the LED cover for the S21 Ultra. Now, we have a couple of options for leather cases, smart cases available for our device, and we'll definitely check them out. Last but not least, I have a couple of cases that were sent to me from Pitaka for the S21 Ultra as well as the S21 Plus. Now, what I like about the Pitaka cases is that they're very thin and very minimalistic, so definitely very nice and very ergonomic, but again, very, very thin and really add almost no bulk to our smartphone. So here we have the S21 Ultra directly in the actual case. The buttons are exposed. On the top, we have a coverage provided. This is a carbon fiber case. On the bottom, we have an opening for the USB-C as well as the speakers. And last but not least, essentially, again, does not add any thickness. There's still a little bit of a camera bump, but it's minimized ever so slightly by the actual case itself. It is slightly raised, so it does provide us a little bit of a protection to the camera bump itself. And if you have a case or a glass protector for the lenses on the back, this will work with it very nicely. I do have a glass protector on the front, and again, works perfectly with the Pitaka case. There's no question that this is going to work and work perfectly fine with any kind of wireless charging technology, mostly because it's actually very, very thin. So definitely a very nice design. Again, made for the S21, S21 Plus, and S21 Ultra from Samsung and from Pitaka. The next case we're going to take a look at is the Defender Edition Drop Plus from OtterBox for the S21 Ultra. Now, this case is obviously intended to be the most rugged case you can buy for your S21 line of devices. Now, specifically, this is a two-piece case, which means there's actually a holster that you're able to use this. That's what we were looking at before. It has a nice, very nice articulating clip that you can set it up. So basically, whichever position you want to end up using it with your smartphone, this is going to work perfectly. And there is a little bit of a clip here on the top that you're able to pin it once you have your smartphone in the actual case. The case is a three-piece case, so there is the ruggedized area that's on the top. Once we remove that, that's one piece. And of course, the inner piece is made out of harder plastic, and it is a two-piece case. What that means essentially is that you can take your smartphone, put that in here directly, put this piece on top of it, and then this is going to be the initial clamping or the initial option. Make sure you close it all the way, and all of the snaps that we have here on every single side snap on very nicely. So now our device is ready to go into the silicone case. And once you have it in, it's pretty easy. You just need to make sure that all of the options here are actually very nicely tight, as well as on the back. Make sure that you actually have all of the options here done correctly so that it actually provides the maximum protection. There is a little bit of a raised lip here so that once you put your device on the table, there's not going to be any issue. And it does actually fix the wobble issue. So you notice right there, I missed a little bit of the actual option. There's not going to be any wobble problem because it's going to be a very flat surface on the back. On the top, we have an opening for the microphones. And of course, on the bottom, we have access to the speaker that's going to be open at all times. But the USB-C port is actually covered with a gasket that you do need to open up to actually access. So since we tend to not use the USB-C cable all day long, this is something that they provided us the ability of just covering. It doesn't add that much more on the rating of the water resistance that we have with the S21 Ultra, but it definitely provides us more of a protection. Button access, everything works the exact same. And again, I still have it with that glass protector that I have it from before, so it works perfectly there. And the glass protector that I have on the back, of course, works as well because it doesn't actually protrude or cover any of that concern. Now, using it with the case is very simple. You just put it on one end, 1, 2, and then snap it on. And then you're pretty much set. Your phone is protected. And of course, you can see here, there's a little bit of a gap there, so your phone or glass is not sitting directly on it. And then, of course, configure it, put it in whatever format that you like and whatever side that you like. And when you want to remove it, just basically pin this backwards and then slide out the phone, and the phone is easy to access. Now, even though this is a bigger case, it still supports wireless charging. The one thing I would probably say is you just need to make sure to get it positioned in the right spot. Lastly, if you want to be able to remove it, it's very simple. Remove the options there, remove the outer piece, the inner piece, and you're ready to change up your case if you want to use something a little bit more minimalistic. Now, the next couple of options that we have in here are both leather cases. Now, they're more of a wallet style or folio options. So essentially, our smartphone will basically go inside. This one has two options for credit cards option here, or ID if you want to be able to use it. And this one has a very similar material. The difference between the two is just more of a style. The magnetic clamp here doesn't actually cover all the way around. It just sits on the side. And this one actually covers it all the way on the other side. And they both have an exposed area on the back. And of course, the material that we have here is a little bit more cushiony here, available on this one on the left, as well as the one on the right is very much of a flat surface. So depending on the design that you want to look at, the other thing I want to mention as well is that this one has an opening for us to be able to use the earpiece without having any cover over it. This does not. So you do need to open this one up. But let's go ahead and put the smartphone in and see how that looks. A hard plastic case on the inside, easy to insert, and of course, easy to clamp. Very nice and very much protected. So there's a lot of nice foamy material underneath the cases themselves. And if of course I want to be able to open it up and let's say I want to be able to use it as more of a stand, it's very easy. I can actually use it and position it in this form factor and of course add the other cards in here. Other than that, works really nice and it looks really good, providing us the protection that we're looking for, as well as the actual opening on the bottom here, which makes it very, very nice. So in this case, again, one of the two options that we have available here, where the other option that we have in here does have that protection all across. And as you can see right there, it definitely provides us that protection. Again, both cases provide us the ability of using it in more what I like to call hammock mode, which essentially allows us to be able to use it to watch content with it. But of course, this one has the openings at the top, coverage all around the camera in the back, and of course that nice little magnetic clip on the back. So they look really nice, made by Olixar, and of course available for the S21 Ultra. The next case on the block is the UAG case made specifically for the S21 Ultra. Now this is the Pathfinder option, so let's go ahead and take it out. Now one thing I like about the design itself, it's actually very nice. There's a couple of compartments here which enable us to have a little bit of separation to the device. On the back we have obviously the big UAG and of course some nice little options here to be able to have a better grip to the smartphone. This is a single piece case, so all you have to do is basically literally just snap it onto your smartphone and it looks really, really nice. Provides us a little bit of a separation between the backing and of course the camera lenses. So when you have it on the table, there's a few offsets here that enables it to sit down and give us a little bit of a separation. The buttons are covered, microphones are open at the top, as well as the USB-C and the bottom firing speaker. Works great with glass protectors, as you can imagine, and of course wireless charging is not a problem with this one as it's not a very thick case. The last three cases that we have in here are, a couple of them are specifically to the S21 Ultra as they provide us support for S Pen functionality. And the last one here is the Smart LED View cover, which is very, very nice, a very good design. So when you close the case itself, you definitely have access to the time. And one of the other options is you can customize the actual display here based on the context that you're receiving. So you can create different options by going into the settings tab, going under the accessories tab option, and you'll notice that there's the LED edit cover here, which enables us to go in there and customize different options, but also create our own and assign it to different contexts. So it makes it very, very nice. And of course, this is where you'll be able to update the software for the case. It does support one card or ID card that you're able to put in here. So if you're using Samsung Pay, your ID can go in there. And of course, there's an opening at the top for your earpiece. So it looks really nice, and wireless charger support. It does have a cover on the back to provide coverage for the lenses in the back. And of course, it is flat, so there's no bump issues or no concern. It is not magnetically clamped on, so unfortunately this will keep opening. But again, for a nice option from Samsung, the LED cover is very nice. Now the last two options, again, as I mentioned, are provided specifically for the S21 Ultra. And what I mean by this, these are the S Pen cases. These are the original S Pen cases made by Samsung, and each case comes with its own S Pen. You'll notice that this one sits on the outside, so when you're putting your smartphone in it, your smartphone sits very nicely, and it is open on the front. Works great with glass protectors. It does provide a little bit of coverage here, of course, on the lenses, and not more of a flatter experience. Even though there's a little bit of a bump, it doesn't actually provide us a lot of wobblage on the table. Buttons are all covered, open up basically for microphones and speakers at the bottom. And when I want the S Pen, all I have to do is take the S Pen out, get it over here, and there is a pen available here. If I double press on the actual screen, I'm now be able to actually take screen on memos. And by double pressing on the actual screen, we can actually take screen off memos. which is really, really nice. And of course, we can actually save it, create additional ones, and everything just makes it very easy. You can put the pen back into where it needs to be, slide it off, turn off the phone. Again, this one does not cover the front of the display where this one does. And the main difference between these two is the fact that this one actually is a combination of two cases. Now, this is the, essentially it's called the S-View flip cover. And so same thing, S-View flip cover works perfectly fine. You insert your phone, you close it, and now your phone provides the ability of using an S-View flip. So that's the options here. You're able to interact with different options. If you try to interact with a notification, it does request you to actually open it up. So the difference between this and the standard model of the S-View flip cover is that there's actually a little bit of an extra thickness here, and that's where the S Pen is sitting. So same position on the left, access to the S Pen works the exact same. It's the same S Pen that you get there. This is not the Pro edition. And of course, when you're done with this, all you have to do is basically put it back. You can customize it, close it, interact with the time. It obviously has additional information that you're able to customize with it, but it looks really nice. So between the LED, smart LED view cover and the S-View flip cover, you have a couple of options available directly from Samsung for their entire line of smartphones. I hope you guys found something out of these cases that fits your needs. The S Pen cases are specifically made by Samsung for the S21 Ultra. There's no option for the S21 and the S21 Plus. The other options, of course, the S Pen Pro hopefully will be coming out in the near future. We don't have any release date on that. But hopefully, again, you found one of these cases that fits your needs, either from OtterBox, from UAG, as far as the leather options, as well as actually the options that came specifically from Samsung for their devices. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much to Olixar for sending me over some of their cases to be able to check out. And of course, to Pitaka for sending me a couple of those cases as well. I'll see you guys in the next video.